This is the video solution of Advanced Data Analysis Exam 6 practical part. Okay, we start immediately with copy all the files in blah 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 on your desktop. Well, my desktop is a chaos, so I prefer to create a directory called desktop, and I will work right here. So I have to copy the files, computer, // ubz01 fst. If you are at university, you stop here. Since I'm at home in VPN, I take also the rest. Okay, courses, exam Coletti Paolo. Okay, I copy the files. Please don't work here on the network directory, because if the network goes down, I don't take any responsibility. If you work instead on your desktop. Okay. Now, connect to my SQL server on alco-inf-unibz.it. Clearly, I use my IDSQL portable. Okay. No, you on alco. Open. Okay, and we are here. Now, the database is student and exams free. Where is it? Here. You don't need to double click, you click once. Okay, you re-click once again. Okay, this is the database. Build a query which displays the professors, enter approximate age in years without decimal digits, and the number of exams they teach and have taught, only for professors with age smaller than 45. Okay, so select, I'll make some space because my screen is smaller. Select. Okay, so we need the professor first name and last name, so from professor. I suggest never double click here, because if you double click, look what happens. So name, comma, surname, comma, their age in years, so it's date diff between birth date and the current date. So birth date, current date. Okay, I will round, sorry, divided by 365, if you want to be precise, comma 25. Okay, let's put as okay, for the moment we stop here. And the number of exams they teach and have taught. Well, for the moment, let's stop here and see whether it works. It's always a good idea to do it step by step, whenever possible. Unknown column name in field list. Sorry, obviously. From professors. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Op stage is negative, which means that I have inverted the two things. Okay, now the age is correct. I have to round it, so round. If you don't know how does function round works, you can click F1 and see rounds blah blah blah. So if you don't specify anything, it rounds to 0 decimal places. If you want, you can specify how many decimal places. Okay. Now, I have to limit this up to 45. In order to limit it, I need to give it a name. Okay. Let's see. It refuses. Okay, we will deal with it later. Okay, let's do the rest first. The number of exams they teach and have taught. Okay, so it becomes a summary query. So comma, count. I have to count exams from who passes what. It's enough. Not the number of courses they've teaching and have taught. Have to count from who teaches what. It's enough. So I count this ID. ID may be misleading, so first I specify the table dot ID. Okay, from professors I have to join who teaches what on professors dot tax code equal, from the schema you see clearly where to join who teaches what dot professor. Okay, for the moment I will count every group by. It's very rare that you do a count without a group by, or vice versa. Group by, I will group by professor's tax code. Okay, let's go on a new line. Okay, still we have to limit to 45. Okay, well, it's now it's a summary query. The limit can be put also on with having. Do you remember the difference? One of them puts at the limit before doing the summary operation, and the other one puts the limit after the summary operation. Okay, well, in this case it's perfectly equivalent. You can put it before, you can put it after. Or if you use where, however, it doesn't work. If you use having, it works fine. Okay, can you see? Oops. Okay, so where puts the limit before doing the summary operation, so filters out the things before doing the summary operation. Having filter out the things after the summary operation. In this case, it's an advantage to use having, because you first do all the calculations, and then at the end you filter out everything. Okay. You could also filter before, but you don't have age. You should filter on this thing here. Okay. So you could alternatively do. Let's see whether it works. I'm not sure. Before group by, where, unfortunately you cannot use age. You have seen, so you have to repeat all the thing. Let's see. It should work. Selection. Yes. Okay. However, it's better to use having, because after having done all the operation, you have already age in hand. Okay. Okay, next one, create a view called as your surname, which calculates for each student his/her average of grades and the sum of credits he has got. Okay, before creating a view, obviously I will create a query and check whether it works. So select, we have student number, average grade, and sum of credits. So from students, the student number, the average of the grade, grade is in who passes what, and the sum of the credits, which is in exams. Well, we don't need to put it. Okay, let's give a name. Okay, from students in join who passes what on students, student number equal who passes what student in join exams on exams dot id equal who passes what dot exam. I think it should be correct. Well, okay, obviously I forgot the group by. Whenever in a summary query you get only one result, you have forgotten. Usually you have forgotten the group by. Group by students dot student number. Have to group by student. So. Okay. Number 803, 24,75, sum of credit 34. Okay. Okay, now we can create a view of if you have already a view called collective because you have done the same exercise wrong as I did, okay, so it's a good idea to drop it before, otherwise it will not let you do it. So I will first of all drop the view collective. Okay, now it's not needed anymore. I can create. So if you create a view and then you realize there is a mistake, you can drop it. Create view collective as. Okay, created. Okay, now let's go on. Using the previous view and the tables that you may need, build a query which calculates for each student the sum of the weighted average grade using as weights the exams credits. Okay, it seems a strange question, a contorted request, but it's exactly the way that in which your final grade is calculated. Moreover, there was a home exercise which was exactly identical. So you should have already done it, and you should do it rather quickly. Select student number. It doesn't matter whether you take it from collective or from students. So student's first name. This matters because collective doesn't have the first name. And now the weighted average. So it's a sum of the grade multiplied by the credits. I don't specify the table because they are unique. Divided by sum of credits, sum_cr, which I will take from view collective. From, and now to delicate part. You have to take data from collective, students, who passes what, and the exams. Collective students are joined through the student number, obviously. This is a one-to-one join, but it's not a one-to-one join between two tables, but between a view and a table. Collective in join students on collective dot student number equal students dot student number. In let's go to a new line. In join who passes what on who passes what dot student equal students. Also here it doesn't matter whether here you choose student number or collective student number. Another thing which doesn't matter is the order. Usually I start with the first table and then here I put the second table, but in this case I did vice versa and it works perfectly. In join exams on, you can see now I do in the right order and it works in the same way. What dot exam equal exams dot id. Okay, don't forget to group by, otherwise you will receive only one group by student number. Okay, let's see whether it works. Okay, 803. Okay, perfect. Okay, save. Finally, duplicate the structure of table exams as exams your surname. You do not need to duplicate the data. Well, how can you duplicate the structure? Either you take a look at the table and you manually reconstruct it, but honestly it's very useless. Okay, you just click on the table. Do you remember that I show you that there is the create code here? Okay, you just copy the create code. You don't need the comments, the collect, and the engine. Okay, so I just copy the create. Obviously you change name. Okay, The only other alternative was to manually do it. Okay, so let's see. Run selection. Okay. Let's see whether I've created everything, because I don't trust myself and I don't trust my SQL. Oops. Why table exams collected has disappeared? Let's try to recreate it. Okay, it already exists, so it simply doesn't display. So I have to refresh. The refresh doesn't work. Okay, well, but in any case, there should be. Reopen. Okay, let's hope sooner or later it will appear. So I save here, save. I check that it really exists. Okay, and okay, let's switch to exercise. Okay, if you look at exercise, it's very similar to an exercise which was done as a home exercise. So if you have done it, it will be very easy for you. You can even copy it from there. If you have not done it, okay, there is a Google Graph here. If you double click, I remind you, you don't modify, you just look at it. Okay, in order to modify it, you have to open it with a text editor, for example, Notepad. Okay, if open with Notepad doesn't arrive, it means that you have never done exercises with. Okay, you have to choose default program and choose Notepad. I use another text editor which is much better, but here for you I will use Notepad. Okay, this is the data. It's without any options. Let's see. Modify it to be 800 pixel wide by 600 pixel high. So, well, you have the book in front of you, so you can check easily here. Very easy. If you don't know exactly how to use it, there is an example here. Really. Okay, so height 800, comma, wide 600, or vice versa. 800 and 600. Okay, the comma is not needed for the last one. Save, and now try. If you don't save, obviously, if you try to see it, okay, it has changed the site. Now let's see the second request. Color gradient from white to red. Also here, it's written here. Only starting and ending colors are needed, and the gradient between these two colors will be used. Okay, so colors, colon, square brackets, single. Okay, so comma, colors, square brackets, white, red, save. Okay, wonderful. With access titles AA and BB in area size 12, blue with invisible grid lines. So concerning access, okay, you can see h-axis specified horizontal axis parameters, grid lines, okay, so invisible grid lines, clearly you have to put white. So let's start. There is a wonderful example here. H-axis colon, comma, H-axis colon, curled brackets, title, it's written there, so title colon AA, comma, title text style, doesn't, it's interesting. Yes, it's interesting. So title text style, title text style colon font size colon 12, font style Arial, and font color, I am inventing and then I will check. Blue, let's see. Color, not font color. So I've invented too much. Font name Arial makes a font name and not font style. Okay. Okay, for the moment I stop here. There is still one thing missing, I think. Yes, the other axis. Not the grid lines. So, but for the moment I stop here just to check whether everything works. So the parentheses are all closed. File save. If you don't save, it doesn't work. If you see a blank screen, okay, AA. Okay, it's not blue, however. If you see a blank screen, clearly there is a big mistake. Title text style, font size 12, font name Arial, color blue. Is it correct, color blue? It seems correct. The T of text style should be capital or small caps? The T of title should be small. This T should be capital. There is a typographic mistake here. Okay, now it's blue. And finally, the no grid lines, so comma. I repeat, if you have done it at home, it's very easy. You could even copy it. The grid lines, the grid lines, the grid lines. Here you have grid lines, colon, color, white. Very simple. Grid lines, comma, color. Okay, I think we've done everything. Save. Obviously nothing, so I've committed a mistake. The missing. Okay, there are no grid lines in this direction. And now, comma, and you copy for the vertical axis without a comma, changing the A with a V, and changing the title to BB. Save. Okay, BB, blue, okay, everything is fine. The grid lines are invisible. Okay, you have to save this one, doesn't matter the browser. Okay, done. The infographics book is not needed anymore. Sooner or later it will close. Open R or R portable. Well, I will use R portable if you don't mind. Load workspace XML data. I remind you that you cannot load workspace from inside R commander. So I have to load from here. Okay, well, unfortunately, I have to reach my desktop. You can navigate up to your desktop. Where is R? Oh, you can. Where is? Okay, I'm my desktop. XML data. Okay, now I open my package. R commander. If you use the portable version, it's honestly very fast. If you use the university version, it's very slow. Well, it should be very fast. Okay. Build vector x with numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, let's obey. It's a good idea to change the working directory to your current working directory. If I find it here. Okay, x let z. Okay. Put 67, 68, 69 elements equal to an A. Well, the fastest way to do it, it's this one. And 68 colon 69, no, 67, 69. And check. Here you have. Replace elements from position 70 to 90 with a sequence from 200 to 220. Hint: the final result, which must be obtained, is okay. So x from 70 290, position should be replaced with a 220. Well, let's see whether it works. I'm not completely sure. Yes, it works fine. The sequence is exactly the one suggested here. Okay, first done. We save because the workspace is not really needed. exam.r it's much more important. exam.r from package car, load dataset highway 1 and attach it. Attach highway 1. Insert into dataset factor rate group, which means rate using 4 intervals. Well, I am lazy, so I use the menu. Where is the binning? Binning. Okay, I have to bin rate. It becomes rate grouped. Number of bins 4. K means clustering. 1 very small. 2 small. 3 large. Very large. Okay. Still, it does not create a factor. In order to create a factor, you have to type factor in front, so pretty simple. And re-execute it. Okay. Just to check, I check highway 1. Yes, everything is okay. I save. You can appreciate the fact that R insists with all the name, despite you have told him. So the difference between save script and save script as doesn't exist. Create an appropriate graph to display variables rate grouped. Our rate grouped now it's an ordinal variable with only 4 levers, so it's a nominal variable. Well, an appropriate graph, to me, it's a bar chart. I don't know whether you come up with other appropriate chart. What is it? Bar graph? Yes, it's this one. Rate grouped. Okay. Okay, this is the appropriate graph. I can close it. And it appears. The important thing is that it appears here, so I can see that you have done it. Save script, again, the name. Okay. Create an histogram for variable rate with red colored bars and 5 bins. So, data, graphs, histogram for rate. Number of bins, 5. It may be that you have a slightly different graphical interface. So it may be that you have everything here. Okay. Unfortunately, you can see the bins are not red. So you have to, here there is a problem. Red. Submit. Oh, wonderful red bins. But did I wait? Graph history. The histogram now is created with width. Is it correct? Okay, it's an alternative way to create an histogram. Hist will be enough. Okay, so alternatively you could let's write for the student who will see it. Alternative. Okay, I think that this one, since rate is highway 1 is attached, this one, okay, in fact this one works fine. Okay, let's put it like this. Alternative. Okay, save the script. Okay, whenever lane is larger than true, increase 6.1 by 20%. Hint, to avoid destroying data for mistake, build another vector called 6.2, which it will be considered correct anyway. So 6.2. Okay. There are many ways to do it. You can do it manually, or you can do it using replace. If you use sig2 replace, sorry, it must be inside highway. Okay, attaching it means that you may use it without specifying this thing, but if you want to insert something inside, you must put highway $1 in front anyway. Replace sigs 1 lane larger than 2. Okay, and now replace with what? Well, you would write something as 6.1 by 1.2. I remind you that increase by 20% means multiply by 1.2. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work if you remember I told you whenever here you don't have a static number but you have a vector, in this case 6.1 is a vector, you have to repeat the condition between parentheses. It's a particular technical issue that if you want I can explain to you personally. Okay, let's see, because I don't trust myself. Okay, this is 6, this is 6.2, 6.1, so increase by 20%, increase by 20%. Let's see, whenever lane is equal to 2, here, 74, 74. Okay, perfect. Okay, there are alternative ways. So, alternative ways. You could, for example, 6.2 equal to 6.1. Okay, and then here manually put 6.2 of lane larger than 2 equal to 6.1 multiplied by 1.2. But it doesn't work for the same reason as here. So you could do it in this way. This one will work. Okay, let's remove the alternative ways and concentrate on going on. Use function SUMUP2, already present in the workspace that you have loaded, to get the sum of the first 30 elements of rate. Okay, so you have already function SUMUP2. You can complain, how does it work? Well, first of all, we have done it 200 times, but if you just type SUMUP2 without anything else, you will see how does it work. You will see the function. Okay, so SUMUP2 rate 30. Finish. It was just an exercise to check whether you are able to use a function, because I noticed that some of you don't understand how to use a function. Okay. Oh, and now the hard exercises. Using two loops, build in the output window a little text table with how many times slim is equal to 40, 45, C50, 55, blah blah blah. Calculation must obviously be done as automatically as you can. Well, nobody forbids you from calculate manually, so type in highway 1 and count manually, but well, you will receive no points for it. I will show you the most automatic one. In the solution you will see also some alternatives which are less automatic. So the most automatic one is building two loops. One loop will go through the numbers from 40 to 70. Okay. Another loop will go through the data, counting whenever slim means speed limit, it's equal to 40, 45, 50, etc., etc. Okay. So first of all, how to go through the numbers from 40 to 70? Well, there is a way in R to make a a sequence jumping by 5. It's also easy. Okay, but we have not seen it in class, so we'll try to do it in another way. For I equal to 0 to 6. Sorry, for I in 0 to 6. Okay. So A or S is equal to 40 plus I by 5. There was an exercise which was similar to this one. In this way you will have S which will be equal to 40, then 45, then 50, 55, and so on. Okay. I repeat, you could put here S in 40 to 70. Okay, but you have to find a way to jump by 5. There is a way in R, but we have not seen it. Okay, now that we have this S, which is the number going from 40 to 70, we go through the entire data set. J, we cannot use I, obviously, in is 1 to the length of slim. Okay. Well, in this case, maybe instead of using an index, it's much better to use v in slim. Remember the other way. Okay. So now in v we have the current value of the speed limit, and in s we have the value to which the current value must be compared with. Okay, so if s equal to v, count should be increased by 1. Okay. Pretty simple. And now we have finished. We have to print the concatenation of s and count. There is a mistake, however, or probably even more than one, but for sure there is a big mistake in this exercise. Let's see. Apart from the fact that count is not found. Okay. Okay, that was the mistake. I never set count equal to 0. Okay, well, it was still not found, but even though it were found, if I don't set it equal to 0 here, I will recount the things I've already counted. So first of all, I set a new s, which is equal to 40, 45, 50, etc., etc. I set count for that s equal to 0. Then I count, and then I print. Let's see. Okay, 41, 45, 3. You can check in Highway whether it's correct or not. Okay, in the solution you find other less automatic things, but for which you will receive a lot of points anyway. And even very less automatic, for which you will not receive a lot of points, but some points. Okay, the last one, suppose an economic quantity grows with a rate of blah blah blah. If you look, it's identical to exercise I gave in the previous exam, but obviously I never give the same exercise. Now it's different. The build function exceeds, which receives as input a number m and returns the number indicating for which index t the quantity pt exceeds m. I suggest you to read it 4 times at least to understand what I exactly want. Okay. It's written, but I suggest you to read several times. Okay, after you have read several times and clearly understood what do I want, let's do it. So you should at least be able to write this thing here. Okay. If you're not able to write at least this one, okay, so then we have to build up the sequence. Can you see t can never exceed 20? Okay, it means that the sequence will arrive maximum to 20. So we have the p of 1, it's equal to 3. Now I build the entire sequence. T in plus 2 to the power of t. Okay, but the function is not over. Now, for the moment, the function simply builds the sequence. Okay, and this is already something good. So if you have done it up to here, it's good. Okay, now you have to check whenever the function reaches, whenever the sequence reaches m. Okay, so here inside, whenever you build pt, you have to check if p of t has exceeded m. Okay, if it has exceeded m, you have to return t. Can you see? Returns a number indicating for which index t. Okay. Okay, I think the function is done. Probably there will be error. No, there is an error for sure. Let's see. Apart from parenthesis error, I will put some spaces so I can see the parenthesis better. Unfortunately, our interface doesn't help us. Okay, there is for sure a missing colored brackets. Doesn't help us with the parentheses. Okay, now the function works. Okay, the error was the error of before. Okay. If you build it like this, it's almost 100% correct. However, it doesn't work. Why? Exceeds. Well, if you look at the numbers, if I say exceeds 10, it should tell me 3, because 3 is the index for which the function exceeds 10. 3. Oh, works fine. Okay. In case it doesn't work, it's because you have to set p equal to colored brackets. It's something I've done before outside the video. So either you do it here, okay, or you do it here inside the function itself. Okay. However, if you don't do it, since it's not a logical mistake, it's just a technical issue. The problem is that R doesn't know that P exists, doesn't know that P is a vector, so we'll complain for this thing here. Okay, it will not be considered as a big mistake. Okay, exam is over. So first of all, I save everything here. This one is not necessary. It was not necessary to test it. Okay, now I have also to save the workspace. Okay, now I close R. I have already saved. I have no interest. May I close everything without 300 questions? Okay, this is my network directory. This is my current desktop. I copy the files from here to here. When it asks me whether I want to overwrite, I obviously answer yes. Okay. And then I check that the date is the date of when you have done the exam, not the date of 3 days before. Okay, exam is over.